All the coal's falling down. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I'd do a little bit, something a little bit different. I've seen online and also in the comments just some interesting comments just around how to put water back into this new S060 Steam Shunting locomotive that's within Derail Valley Simulator. This thing was just released, and I have done a first look video on it just very recently. I'll put a card up at the top right hand corner of the screen if you haven't checked out that video yet. But yes, in this video we'll be focusing just on how to put water and coal back into this thing. And more specifically, I'll focus on the water aspect because that's a lot more finicky, I think you'll find. And if you've tried it yourself, you'll probably be like, how do you do this? It's quite difficult to do. So one little trick I've learned, and I'll just show you as well in this video, is hopefully it's going to help as well. Because this thing, it's got its water tanks on the sides of the locomotive, you basically have to line up this water tower nozzle in a specific way to get it perfectly aligned. It's not enough just to drive it under the tower, obviously, and that's really cool that they've simulated that. You have to align the nozzle, so that nozzle there, so that it's more or less in line with the locomotive, like this. You see that? In line with this water hatch, okay? And then obviously you've got two hatches there. There's two tanks, but they're connected together, so you don't have to worry about filling the other side. You can just fill one side. And I've already gone ahead and filled up the water a little bit because I've been doing a bit of driving with this so far, and I've kind of run out a little bit low on water and just managed to make it here actually, but that's a different story, and one that I didn't record unfortunately. But anyway, what we have here is the water refilling station. Now we can see here it says no vehicle at the moment, and that's because our locomotive is not within range of the water tower yet. Now instead of worrying about that just now, what I like to do first is we're going to go ahead and manipulate the position of the water tower nozzle left and right, and we'll do that first, and then we'll finally move the locomotive slowly forward, and then we should be able to easily get it within range and then into its ready state for filling. So what I'm doing now is I'm using this water tank handle, the red handle, and I'm just moving the nozzle outwards. So on the water tower you've got this little red handle, and what I'm doing here is I'm just going to move the nozzle inwards, okay? And what I'm looking to do is line it up so that when you look from the front, if you draw a line all the way down, you'll be more or less directly on top of the water hatch, okay? That's from that axis. And then what you do is you just move the locomotive forward until you line it up from this axis, okay? So basically the X and Y axis kind of thing, you just got to line it up. And you might be saying, oh, I've got no fire, what's going on? How are you going to move this locomotive? Well, I've actually got a little bit of residual pressure in the locomotive, long story, and I've got basically no water in it at the moment. That's why I'm not touching the fire right now, because I don't want a big explosion. So we should still have enough residual pressure in the locomotive just to move. And there we go. You see there, the next status is misaligned. You just heard that ding, and there we go, ready. So very small, slow movements, okay, with the locomotive to get it into the ready position. And you can see there that it's lined up vertically, perfectly with the hatch if we draw a line straight. And then if we look from the front, vertically again from this axis, it's more or less, hang on, let's come out like this a bit more. It's a bit more accurate. If we draw a line, we are perfectly on top of the water tank on the tender of the locomotive, okay? So that's basically the way I've figured this thing out, best way to do it. And I've just gone ahead and just filled up the water the rest of the way. And I don't really need to show you guys and girls how to do this bit, but anyway, I've just topped up the water now. Now if we have a look in the water tank now, and I find that when you fill the tender fully, it's a lot more difficult to see, but there is a little bluish kind of line there at the edge of the hatch. I don't know if you saw that, but when it's partially filled, it seems like it's a lot easier to tell. But yeah, this is basically full of water right now. Okay, you can see it's just a musty, kind of cloudy, bluish kind of tinge in there. And closing these hatches is another matter as well. It's going to wear out my finger and my mouse wheel, I'm sure, one day. Anyway, So once you've done that, obviously you can come inside and just start injecting water into the boiler. And I've really run this thing low, as you can see here. I'm lucky that I didn't make this thing blow when I was pulling into this station. Yeah. Yeah, it's really low. I've been standing here for a while now. I'm beginning to worry a little bit. Is the water on? Yep, there we go. Finally. Okay, yeah, that was a little bit nail biting there. I really ran this thing low on water, as you can tell. That's why I put the fire out, and I basically pulled into this station with residual steam pressure. So I was running a fireless locomotive there for a little while. So yes, that completes the water servicing, or the half of the servicing process, which includes filling the locomotive with water and then injecting water into the boiler. So once you've got your water in your boiler like that, then you can go ahead and light your fire, and then you can go ahead and continue on. Happy days. Now you might be saying, well, it's not happy days because I've got no coal. How can I have a fire? Well, that's the next part of this video. Now we know that water is king with these steam locomotives. Always have water first, okay? Otherwise, big boom. But once you've got your water, you need your fire. Now the fire comes from this coal, which is stored here in this little bunker at the back of the locomotive, and it does run out quite fast. I've found. So if you're operating this S060, you'll find yourself visiting these refilling stations, these coaling stations, quite often, along with those water towers as well. And it's a good thing they put more water towers around the map with that latest build 95 update for this game. But anyway, this is the coaling station, just one of the many around the map. We can see there we are at the top right, far right hand corner there, IME. Okay, and adding coal is a lot more straightforward. Okay, so I know I've got a little bit of work to do first to move these carriages out of the way. So feel free to skip to the next chapter if you like. I've just put a little bit of an intermission in here on firing up this locomotive and moving these carriages. I just thought I'd leave this in there for those of you who are interested. We'll just cut down this damper here so that the coal doesn't just get wasted, because having the damper up full, in my opinion, is not required unless you're really pulling a heavy load. Running like this just in the yard, have the damper in the minimum setting. Handbrake off, and we're just going to reverse here. Make sure the cylinder drains are open. Just going to couple up here to these wagons. I'm going to see if actually I can just push them out of the way. The handbrakes are off, but I don't think that's actually going to work because the air brake hose is open on the carriages, so that means the brakes are applied anyway, I believe. Okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and couple up. Just open the air valves there. And just make sure that our air compressor is on this locomotive. Air pump, because I turned that off earlier because I was running in fireless mode and I had to conserve every bit of steam. So that was an interesting run, that one. It's a shame I didn't get it on video. Okay, the brakes are getting charged up and released there, as indicated by the red lever. Sorry, red needle. Okay, so now we should be able to move this whole train backwards without too much effort. And we'll just get off the power here and listen for a bing. There you go. There's like a boop sound as well. So that's basically the console telling you that you're lined up with the coal chute. I'm just going to go into forwards here because I think we're just a little bit too far back. Again, with this coaling, it's nowhere near as difficult as adding water. In most cases, you just need to get the chute under your coal hatch, basically. You don't have to do any of that left-right alignment that we have to do with the water tower. There you go. That's way better for my OCD. So, pull on this lever and we'll be adding coal. We'll just get that in view a little bit better. watch the coal go in. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can basically get on our way. Now, one thing I don't quite understand with this is that the coal level still looks a little bit low, even though it's showing full on the top here. Maybe that's just me, I'm not sure, but I think the graphical representation here still shows that it's low, the coal pile. Anyway, it is full, I believe, because if I put a bit more coal in and then come around to the console again, I can actually add a little bit more just to fill it back up. So yeah, that's full. I think that might just be a slight bug with this S060, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm sure they'll fix that, hopefully. Yes, but that's basically it, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Got a lot of water now and there because it's heated up. I love the coal and steam physics with this new update as well. When the water gets heated up, it actually rises, so that's awesome. Anyway, let me know if you would like to see me just drive this locomotive free run in sandbox mode around the rest of this map. Yeah, so these are my passenger wagons. This is from my first look video, basically. I'm just using the same set of consists. And we're currently up in the far top right corner like I was showing before. So, I don't know. What does everyone think? Should I make this into maybe a bit of a series and just run this set of passenger wagons around the map and see how far I get before we either explode or derail or whatever? Hopefully none of those things. I don't know. Anything's possible in this game though. Let me know in the comments anyway. So yeah, this was just meant to be a quick video on servicing, but I just realized that there might be an opportunity here. Looks like there's quite a few servicing places around the map. If we go from here maybe to Food Factory, head west, and then just keep going around maybe to the west, and then come down, do a little bit of a loop-de-loop. Let me know in the comments anyway what you thought, what you think. Otherwise, hopefully this video has been helpful for you for servicing this little steam shunter, because yeah, the water tanks are definitely a little bit finicky on this one, a little bit less straightforward, but I think you'll agree once you get the hang of it, just get those two axes right, you'll be fine. That is a big water tower, isn't it? Thanks for watching.